So it's 11 o'clock on Thursday night, and I just got back from Catching Fire. I've been to a lot of premieres, a lot of midnight premieres, never an 8 o'clock premiere, and I've walked out of a lot of them very, stunned, speechless. Tonight was definitely one of those times. Let me first just say that I loved the Hunger Games movie. The first one, it was great. A lot of the problems that people had with it, I didn't see. I liked the way it was filmed, the casting, the acting, the directing. It was all great for me. There were a few things that I would have changed here and there, but overall, it was great. But in comparison to Catching Fire, this movie was so brilliant. Also, if you have not watched the movie yet, don't watch this video, because I'm going to talk about things that you don't want to know about yet. So please just go away. I'm not gonna... just go away. It just really felt like the game was stepped up like 10 notches. Game as in how they did the movie, not the game. I definitely would not have liked Catching Fire the way the Hunger Games was done. It was very good in the Hunger Games, but it would not have been for this one. So I'm glad we had a new director. The budget was higher in this one, and that was very obvious throughout the whole thing. Like if the first one was, let's see how this does, I wonder if they'll like it. This one was, we're going to blow you away. It's very weird that it's happened now that I've seen the movie, because I've been waiting for this since March of 2012, and that is a long time ago. The past few weeks have not felt like, you know, like it's coming, and it just, like, as it was happening, and as the first shot happened, that is when it kind of registered that I was at Catching Fire. Right off the bat, I loved how it was done. The first shot with Katniss's back, and the whole first 30 minutes. It just gave me the impression that this was going to be so much bigger than the Hunger Games. I felt like all of the characters had a really nice introduction in this movie. When we saw Haymitch for the first time, when we saw Peeta for the first time, Cinna for the first time, Caesar Flickerman. Just when he turned that corner and walked onto this stage, I started smiling. There's so much about this movie that I could talk about. Now for the past week or so, this movie's been hyped up a lot. Like, people are telling me it's gonna blow you away, it's so good, so much better than the first one. So my expectation was up here, and it was met. It was met right here. More than met. A big highlight of this movie for me was Elizabeth Banks. I loved Effie in this movie, and she was like my favorite. She had so many great moments. Chins up, smiles on. I'm talking to you, Katniss. I loved that for some reason. And then when they're doing the reaping, that was a really powerful scene. Effie tries to lighten the mood a little bit, walking over to the thing, there's one name in there, she pulls it out all dramatically, still, like, we have no idea what's on the card, Katniss Everdeen, and then she's just standing up there, and Effie's just like, wonderful! I just wanted to start crying at so many points in this movie. In District 11, when the guy does the thing, when the guards started going, Katniss started trying to run, and they pulled her out, and the door shut just as he was getting shot. That was... ooh, that got to me. And then it started happening in all the other districts, and Katniss couldn't do anything about it. This awful presence of President Snow through the whole thing. Every time I heard the music, I'm not doing that correctly, but you know what I'm talking about. Like the Capitol music, I just got this dread feeling. It was like I was conditioned to feel this way about that music, because I knew that something with the Capitol was happening and I really hated it. Now I'm not gonna lie, I read this book when I was 12 years old, because that's when it came out, and I just read the series as it came out, and I don't reread much. I'm already a billion books behind on my never-ending TBR, but I really need to reread this series before I see Mockingjay next November. It is next November, right? There's so much that I forgot about these books that triggered again as I was watching the movie, and that just made it really powerful. I loved all the comedic moments in this movie. Katniss has this sort of dry humor that I really love. Jennifer Lawrence brought that out beautifully. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence is just beautiful. She's perfect Katniss. We're so lucky to have her. Can we just... I can make a video about Jennifer Lawrence, so I'm not even gonna start talking about her. When they were doing that thing for the cameras at the beginning, you know, like they were acting all coupley and the camera was like traveling around them, that was interesting. I kinda liked that. Well, it was really creepy. I loved seeing Plutarch and President Snow talking. Having an eye inside the Capitol really brought out that darkness of it. And we need that in the movies. I'm so glad they did that. Because people watching that have not read the books don't know what's going on at all. Just like in the book, I felt like it was definitely two different sections of the movie. They had the Victory Tour and then the new games. And it was a very long movie. It felt long, but it was never boring. A lot of the things that I didn't always enjoy about the book were so good in the movie. I loved Joanna. I don't know who the actress is, I should probably find out, but she did awesome. I loved it when she was just like, F the Capitol. I wish they hadn't bleeped her out so she could say it one time. I mean, there are obvious reasons why they did, because there are young people watching and it's PG-13, but you're allowed one F word in PG-13 movie. It could be in there, but I mean, overprotective mothers would go insane. See, I have to bleep it out because I don't know if my grandmother is watching this. I don't know who's watching this. Could be 9 years old watching this. I don't want to say it. I knew that Madge was going to die, but it didn't make it any easier when she went and kissed Finnick and walked into the fog. I loved how they did everything in the arena. The clock, it was set up so wonderfully. All of the things like with the Jabberjays and the monkeys. It was so weird seeing everything come to life in the arena because these are things that I've just pictured in my head for years and it's never been quite real until now. It came to life exactly how I would have wanted it to, including Finnick. He was just perfect for that role. When he says, "Remember who the real enemy is," and Katniss kind of connects it and then Sam Claflin did an awesome job. I can't believe I haven't talked about Finnick yet at this point. He's an excellent Finnick. I never really had a doubt, but he confirmed my love of that casting decision words. I felt so much more watching this movie. Like The Hunger Games, I never got genuinely upset, but for this I was like, and then I'd get really into something, and then I'd be all upset, and then I'd be like, yes, and then I'd be like, no. The shock that PETA is in the Capitol is with me right now, and I know how it ends up. It's just so connected to this movie. Everything was so captivating and so well done. I just want to talk about the last scene real quick with Gale in there, and there is no District 12. Everything's gone. And then, ooh, that very last shot, when Katniss looks at the camera and she's upset for a moment, and then she's angry, like, Snow, you done pissed her off. And then at the end, how we went from all the different Mockingjay symbols. I think it would have been cool if they'd stopped at the Catching Fire one, and then at the end of Mockingjay you can do the end one. Is Francis Lawrence directing Mockingjay? Let me check. He is! The directing was so good, and it was exactly what we needed for Catching Fire. Usually, books and movies are separate for me because I can get disappointed really easily, but now I got them together in my head, kind of. I read the book so long ago, so now I'm kind of rooting for the movie characters. Definitely rereading the series and gonna give it another look before I see Mockingjay. All of the things that I knew were about to happen, when they happened, it was just so much more. With the wedding dress, and how it became the other thing, and when she hung the Seneca Crane dummy. When she did her little curtsy thing, I could have applauded right there. If you were in the theater with me, and you looked over for half the movie, I would have probably been like, or this, or something like this, or something along the lines of this. It's a complete roller coaster. It was so brilliantly done. The part with the lightning and the arrow, I was worried she was about to die. I was like, why are you touching it? And then I was like, oh yes, this happened in the book. Felt like I didn't know what was gonna happen. I was worried that PETA was gonna get called and Haymitch was going to volunteer. Even though I knew it wasn't gonna happen because I've read the book, I was still worried. I was still on the edge of my seat the whole time. And I was just as surprised at everything as I would have been if I hadn't read it. And when you can do that to a reader who's watching a movie off of one of his favorite book series, then you have a real winner. A+ Francis Lawrence and everyone else involved. I don't know how I'm gonna go through a school day tomorrow and function and take tests and quizzes. I just can't get over how much more powerful this movie was. The scenes with Cinna, when he got beaten and taken away, when Gale got whipped, when Mags died. I said Madge before, I meant Mags. Guy from District 11, and the end, when the power goes out. We all laughed in the theater, and then we heard President Snow whisper, "That's not possible." I feel like I have a lot more to say and that I'll film it later, So here's that. Trying to edit this review and I can't believe that I never talked about Josh Hutcherson or PETA. Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson. You could not have asked for a better two main roles. They're such fantastic actors and they're just great people that it's just nice to watch them. I don't understand the people that did not like Josh Hutcherson as PETA originally. Do any of you still exist? Okay, good. Josh Hutcherson was amazing. Also, I feel like I need to acknowledge the elevator scene. It was just such a fantastic scene. I feel like I don't need to say anything about it. You know, it was a great scene. Couldn't hear the awkward silence over all the laughing in the theater. Alright, I think that's it. Other than that, I think that's... Wow. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. If you didn't like it, please let me know, because I want to know why. I'm not gonna bash on you. I just want to see how anyone could not like this movie. Like how. So I'm gonna go. I hope you all enjoyed the movie as much as I do, because I definitely did, and I don't want to wait another year for this, but at least it's not another year and a half, like it was for this one. Best wait ever. Don't even care. It was so worth all this time. I will see you guys very soon. Let me know what you thought about the movie in the comments, and goodbye!